Today on The Young and the Restless, Victoria gets demoted, Tucker clashes with Abby, and Sharon notices a connection between Summer and Chance. At Newman, Victoria greets her father and guesses he's wondering how she's feeling about Nick's decision not to return to the company. She isn't surprised given how he feels about Nate, which is ironic given he decided to work alongside Adam, who is more untrustworthy. Victor thinks Adam has learned his lesson. Victoria wonders what show he put on for him this time. Please tell me you're not getting pulled in by Adam again. Victor believes him and he thinks once Nick calms down, he'll return. Victoria isn't counting on it and wants to promote Nate immediately to co-CEO. Victor doesn't think Nate is ready for a promotion of that magnitude. Victoria disagrees and has every faith he's more than qualified to fill the position. Victor's decided who is going to fill that chair, and it ain't gonna be Nate Hastings. Nate meets Audra at the jazz lounge and she notices he's all sunshine and rainbows today. Planning your next move? So what's going on? Nate says Nick isn't coming back to Newman and Nikki's staying at Newman Media. Audra complains about having to work under the woman. Nate's sure they can turn her around on them. Audra asks why he's in such a good mood, and then realizes he's banking on being offered the second-in-command position. Nate says it's the logical move. Audra muses, "You don't really think it's going to be that easy, do you?" Audra reminds Nate he already has 2 strikes against him becoming co-CEO. Victor doesn't trust him and Nikki hates him. Nate thinks he's made great strides in convincing her of his sincerity. As for Victor, he followed his advice on the merger. Audra tells Nate that Victoria won't defy her parents if they oppose promoting him. Nate thinks she's underestimating Victoria's power. Audra disagrees. Nate asks what's going on with her. Audra's been shot down enough times to know things never work out the way you think they will. She advises him to always have a backup plan. He will never be a Newman, so he should do himself a favor and stop believing it will happen. At Crimson Lights, Esther snarks at Adam, who asks her to remind him what he's done to make her despise him. Esther replies, one word, Chloe. Adam has done everything in his power to make sure that Chloe might have a change of heart about him. Esther says she doesn't hate him anymore, but she doesn't trust him either. She complains that Adam's had all the second chances in the world and has wasted every one of them. It's a crime, she exclaims as Nikki walks in. She agrees that he'll never change and asks Adam for a word in private. On the patio, Nikki tells Adam she heard all about his mea culpa performance with Victor. She sees it as a hollow attempt to change, but they both know it will fail miserably, or he's trying to tear the family apart again. Whichever it is, back the hell off. Stop this before it starts because I am telling you, if you try to hurt your father again, I will make it my mission to destroy your life and every connection to people you care about. Sharon and Chance walk into the park arm in arm as she updates him on Nick agreeing to focus on Kirsten Incorporated. He's on the East Coast meeting with department heads and she's headed to the West Coast. Sharon asks Chance to take a few days off and join her. Chance is tempted and will see if he can clear his schedule. Sharon hopes he'll get his promotion and they can celebrate while they're away. As they sit, Summer watches them from a distance. Summer approaches and greets Sharon and Chance, who asks her how her trip to Milan was. Summer tells him about it and thanks him for helping her through one of the toughest times of her life. Sharon says she was in a terrible position and came out the other side. Summer reveals that thanks to one of her conversations with Chance, she ended up on a roller coaster screaming her lungs out, so thanks for that too. Chance is glad he could be of service. Sharon watches their interaction. Tucker lets Abby into his suite and she tells him enough sidestepping before demanding to know where her mom is and why he came back from Paris alone. Why is she not returning my calls? What the hell did you do to her? Tucker tells Abby her mother's fine, she's in Paris thinking some things through. He did nothing to upset her or hurt her. He tries to show her the door, but she isn't going anywhere until she gets some answers she actually believes. Tucker tells her she's reconsidering starting a new venture with him. Abby doesn't buy that this just came out of nowhere. He must have done something to push her away. Tucker did everything right this time, but his mother is incapable of seeing that she's changed. What she and Abby fail to see is that he has his limits too. Abby chases Tucker down the stairs of the GCHC and informs him he doesn't get to just blow her off. She wants information and is going to get it. Does he really blame her for assuming he did something to her mother? Tucker fumes. Do you know what I assumed? That your mother could extricate herself from this Abbott clan of yours and start a life with me. And look where it's gotten me, back here, alone and heartbroken. None of which I have been known to handle gracefully. Abby asks, meaning? Tucker hisses, meaning you stay away from me and tell the rest of the Abbotts to do the same. On Crimson Light's patio, Adam tells Nikki he has nothing but admiration for her protectiveness. He knows nothing he can say will make her believe his words to Victor about the change in him, but if she'll just give him a chance. Nikki is done giving him chances, so if he doesn't walk away from his father and the family and any hope of returning to Newman, she will make sure all hell will rain down on him. You have 24 hours to drop whatever scheme you're plotting against Victor or you'll regret it for the rest of your life. At Newman Enterprises, Victoria warns her father if he's planning on reinstating Adam as her co-CEO, she will walk out the door. Victor tells her to calm down. He has plans for Adam, but they're not what she thinks. He'll start at the bottom and work his way up. Victoria asks if he's not handing Adam the co-CEO position at Newman. Then who is he handing it to? Victor says, you. Floored, Victoria asks, you want me to be the co-CEO of Newman? Victor will take over the reins, she'll be his co-CEO, and Nate will answer to her. Victoria asks, you're demoting me. She asks why he's doing this, just to prove that you can? What is it, Daddy? Are you bored of your semi-retirement? She marvels that she didn't see this coming. You always do this, she rants. It's no wonder Nick keeps walking away because loyalty to the company means nothing unless your name is Victor or Adam. Victor says she'll have power to make decisions, but he will take the reins. Things around there have felt disjointed lately, and he is taking over. Is that clear? Victoria snarks that this hardly feels like unity, you're either pushing or driving everyone away. Victor doesn't give a damn what she thinks. Victoria walks out as Nikki arrives and gasps. What's happened now? Tucker enters the jazz lounge, where Audra's still chatting with Nate. He sits and tells them they're so inseparable lately, it's become creepy. Audra says it's a friendship. Tucker says friendship requires trust, which is a dangerous thing. It will disappoint you. It will betray you. So I would advise you strongly not to trust each other. Nate asks, what happened to you? A week ago you were on top of the world. Don't tell me you managed to blow it up already. Tucker grins, I haven't blown anything up, Nate, not yet. At the Chancellor estate, Mariah talks to Devon about Arya picking up on her anxiety. She appreciates them letting her stay, but she wonders if she made a mistake. Devon reassures her. Mariah thinks she disrupted the baby's life. Devon says she knows she loves her. I think that you're just feeling overwhelmed and scared. Wherever she is home for Arya. Mariah hugs him. Just then, Abby storms in and sighs. Abby tells Mariah that she understands how she feels about Arya. They once had the same concerns about Dom. Mariah will think things over. Suddenly, the baby cries and she leaves the room. Devon asks Abby what's wrong. She says it's Tucker. She knows he's done something to her mom, but all he'll say is that it's her fault. Devon asks what she's talking about. Abby doesn't know, but she's sure it's his fault and not her mom's. Devon's puzzled to learn that he wants Abby and the Abbotts to stay far away from him. At Crimson Lights, Esther muses to Adam, looks like Nikki gave you an earful. Adam says he deserved it, which makes him more determined to stay on his new path. Esther wonders if the new path leads out of town. Adam texts Victor and asks him to meet. In the park, Chance has stepped away to take a call, and Sharon is updating Summer on her and Nick running Kirsten Incorporated. Summer says her dad told her and he's glad they won't have to work with Adam or deal with Victor's interference. Sharon says that's accurate on both counts. Summer is happy for them. She asks if her mom still has a place in the business. Sharon says she and Nick still have to discuss things. Chance interrupts. He has to leave for a meeting about becoming the chief of police. The meetings will prevent him from joining Sharon on her trip, but he'd like a rain check. Summer listens thoughtfully. She wishes Sharon a successful trip and urges Chance to break a leg. At the jazz bar, Audra tells Tucker he doesn't always make good choices when he's upset. He should go somewhere and meditate. Just then, Nate gets a text from Victoria, who is in the dining room. He excuses himself. Tucker tells Audra, "You're in way over your head with him." Audra thinks she knows where his head is, and if she's right, she has to tell him. It's a bad idea. She guesses he's going after the Abbotts and Jabot. She's not worried about Jabot, she's worried about him. She still considers him a friend and wants to keep him from being his own worst enemy. He thanks her, pecks her forehead, and leaves. In the dining room, Victoria tells Nate that her father demoted her. He's taking charge. But I get to be his co-CEO, isn't that kind of him? She shares that he thinks the company has become disjointed under her. She doesn't know what to do, she's so angry. Nate advises her to do nothing until she's had a chance to calm down. Victoria and Nate enter the corporate suite, removing clothing as they head to the bed. At Newman, Victor tells Nikki she didn't take it too well. Nikki asks, can you blame her? She wonders why Victor didn't tell her. Victor didn't want Nikki to talk him out of it or tell Victoria before he could. Nikki worries about Victoria feeling undermined and about the stress on him of running a company. Victor points out that not running it was giving him more stress. Just then, Adam appears. He wants an opportunity to clear up a misunderstanding on Nikki's part. At the park, Sharon has to get to the airport. Chance insists on taking her. They say goodbye to Sum and walk off arm in arm. Summer watches them and looks slightly distressed. At Crimson Lights, Sharon emerges from the back room with her bags and rejoins Chance. They kiss and canoodle before heading out to the airport. In the park, Summer thinks about Chance and seems to come to a realization. In his suite, Tucker pours a drink and picks up his phone. He starts to text Ashley and then changes his mind. A knock comes at the door. It's Audra. He lets her in. Audra sets down her handbag and looks at him. Tucker walks over to her, caresses her hair, and kisses her forehead, and then her lips. At Newman, Victor asks Adam what he's there to clear up. Adam complains that Nikki doesn't believe he's changed, and that it's another ploy. She told him to back off. He's glad they're together so Victor can at least hear what he has to say. Adam knows Nikki has reason to doubt him, but he's not intimidated and won't back down. He'll fall into line and will prove she's wrong about him. He tells Victor he's there to serve him. Whatever you want, just say the word and consider it done. In the corporate suite, Victoria and Nate cuddle after sex. She declares she's going to fight her father on this and prove he's not up to running Newman again. I'll be damned if I'm going to let him take this away from me. Nate kisses her.